Hi there, welcome to Long Distance Review, and on this week's episode I'm going to look at the new-ish album from Static X entitled Project Regeneration Volume 1. Static X were formed way back in 1994, and they released their debut album in 1999 entitled Wisconsin Death Trip, which was a critical and commercial success. The band at this point in time were the members Wayne Static as lead vocalist and guitarist, you had Tony Campos on bass, Koichi Fukada on guitar, and Ken J on drums. Between the years of 1999 and 2009, they went on to release 6 albums with varying success and varying lineups, but the main lineup of Wayne Static and Tony Campos remained throughout. In 2009, the band went on a hiatus, but essentially split due to the sort of infighting between Tony and Wayne. Tony himself calling it a very toxic atmosphere, Wayne's drug and substance abuse had got out of control, and they essentially split up and went their separate ways. Wayne Static went on to release a solo album called Pig Hammer, and then toured with his solo band, touring the Wisconsin Death Trip album in 2014. There was a lot of fighting about the naming rights of the band, who owned the name to Static X, and it never really got resolved. And then sadly, in 2014, at the back end of 2014, Wayne Static passed away at the very young age of 48, essentially putting an end to any possibility of the band getting back together and making up. So then fast forward for another 4 years, Tony Campos in 2018 comes out with an announcement saying that the 3 original members of the band, the 3 Wisconsin Death Trip members of the band, have got back together and they've unearthed a load of Wayne Static vocal takes, music ideas, things like this, and they're going to put it all together on an album entitled Project Regeneration. And it was going to have loads of guest vocalists on, that was the idea. The sort of idea steamrollered, and the more they looked, the more they found of Wayne Static's material, and they essentially on this album, 99% of the vocals on here are by Wayne Static himself. The band themselves went on to tour the Wisconsin Death Trip album. They did a 20th anniversary tour of that with the 3 original members and a unnamed vocalist, a anonymous vocalist titled Xero, who basically dressed as Wayne Static and had this Wayne Static death mask on, had the hair. It can be seen as I'm not going to talk about that too much, there's not a place for it now, but a lot of people thought it was a very sick thing and a bit of a ghoulish thing to dress someone up as a dead person, essentially. Others saw it as a very good tribute to him himself. At the end of the day, the band had the blessing of Wayne Static's family and friends, and the idea and project was a success, and the tour was a big success. So I think their hearts are in the right place for it, is what I'm going to say. Static X themselves are a great singles band. If you type their name into YouTube and go on any of their singles, you're pretty much guaranteed an absolute banger. Unfortunately, some of their albums have been quite patchy, especially the latter day material like the Cult of Static album. My worry for this was it was going to be seen as a cash grab, because the frontman, spokesperson of the band had passed away, and then 3 ex-members had all come out of the woodwork and gone, can we release this please? And B, it could have been seen as just a load of B-side songs that they found on the cutting room floor and just chucked out. They released the singles Hollow and All These Years before the album dropped, and all my fears and cynicism kind of went away because those 2 songs are absolute bangers. So I ended up having a lot more interest and enthusiasm looking forward to this album than I ever thought I would have. What I will first say about this is the band themselves and anyone involved in production, like Ulrich Wilde, the producer, have done a great job of putting this together. It doesn't feel like a load of offcuts, it feels like an album, and it feels like they put their heart and soul into this completely. Although this is hugely nostalgic, the production job that Ulrich Wilde does on here gives it a very modern leaning. He's managed to layer all these elements really, really well. And I think on here, the programming and sampling that is put on here is the highlight of it for me. I think that given the modern production sound, it's given that side of the band a lot more of an impetus. The album actually opens up with this little intro track called Regeneration. It's got this like 90s rave dance style intro, and it has this vocal sample that says the unexpected thing tragedy gives us is the opportunity to rebuild, and then has all these old vocal samples from the band, and then ends up by saying regeneration complete, which sort of gives you the idea of the project in a nutshell. When that down-tuned chugging guitar riff comes in on Hollow, I can't help but be delighted by it because I love that sound, and I loved that sound of the band when it originally came out. I really think Hollow is a great song. I like how the keyboards give an almost symphonic and haunting feel to the track. Yes, it can sound dated, not so much the production, but more in terms of the song structures and song ideas. But in essence, it's a Static X, and isn't that what you want? The Bled for Days-esque song Worth Dying For is a more sort of alt metal leaning chorus to it, where it has Wayne Static's cleaner vocals riding over this nice synth effect, which I do like. But the pace is kept up really nicely on that song with these skipping drums and chugging guitar lines. Any fear of the sort of latter day material, the sort of Cult of Static material, or the Wayne Static solo material sort of dripping into this project was kind of allayed when I heard the song Terminator Oscillator, which is an absolute relentless, raging track. It's this driving, grooving track, which is one of the highlights of the album for me. And then we get onto the second single, a song called All These Years, which is this more creeping, grooving affair, which has this great bass work from Tony Campos. I love the bass slide on that one. This album has no right to be as good as it actually is, I realise by this point. It sounds fresh and energetic and revitalised and almost. The pace is relentless on it as well. It's only 39 minutes long, this album, and it's just relentless. It's just driving constantly, and it rattles along at a hell of a speed. It gets a song like My Destruction, which is this joyous, chaos-filled track full of these dance rhythms, machine gun style drums. It's peppered with vocal samples and has Tony Campos's trademark growling backing vocal on it. And I realised I was 8 tracks deep on this and my enjoyment levels hadn't dipped at all throughout it. I really like how they've meshed together the sides of Static X on this album. They've meshed together the programming and sampling with the more industrial side to the band. I know that's always been in the band, but the production on this album seems to have melded them together brilliantly. Check out a song like Otsego Placebo, which really showcases these two elements of the band and how they put them together to sort of seamlessly create and build a song really, really well. The whole album is a masterclass in how these elements have all been balanced perfectly together, I feel. You get to the closing track on the album, and you do get finally a guest vocalist as Al Jorgensen appears on there, Al Jorgensen of Ministry fame. And I like that song, Dead Souls it's called, Dead Souls. And it's a much more gothic, industrial, lurching track, which layers these acoustic guitars, these vocals, these drums, these humming lead guitars, these lurching bass and erratic synths, and they've laid them all together, and it could be an absolute mess, and it actually sounds in perfect harmony with each other. There's no doubt that this is an absolute success, this project. What they've done here is an absolute success. It could have been seen as a horrible cash-in. It really could have been. And the fact that it hasn't been seen as that, and the fact that it works so well, and it's obvious they put a lot of love into this, is a great tribute to Wayne Static, and also a tribute to the guys doing it, I feel. Yes, there's a nostalgia factor to it, and I will always think, oh, I love hearing this sound that I loved back in the 90s, but it sounds vibrant and energetic and vital and fresh on here. Fans of Static X will love this. Fans of Static X of the past will love this, and they will lap this up, and they're rightly so to do it. And it's great to hear Wayne Static's vocals again all over it. And it does make me think, would we have ever got this album if Wayne hadn't passed away? Because I don't really see any chance of them getting back together when he was alive. So, out of every tragedy, something's come out of it, let's say. And I can't really wait to hear Volume 2. I got more out of this album than I ever thought I would have, let's put it that way. It's the triumphant return of evil disco. So, let me know what you think of this album. I really, really enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.